Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Yusra. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a working therapist, and I love pop culture. Today, we'll be taking a deeper dive into Taylor Swift's Tolerate It. Tolerate It is the fifth track on Taylor Swift's Evermore album, the second of two surprise albums released during COVID-19 lockdowns, the first being Folklore. These two albums are reported to be storytelling albums based on visuals and imagery, unlike other albums that more closely relate to Taylor Swift's life. In an interview with Zane Lowe, Swift describes Folklore as being about, quote, conflict resolution, while Evermore is more related to, quote, endings of all sorts, sizes, and shapes. My first impression of Tolerate It was that it was a good description of bad relationship dynamics, a pattern that leads to the end of a relationship. The first verse is all about the narrator's observation of their partner. They are trying to read them and figure out where they are emotionally. The narrator doesn't know how to behave or respond until they know what their partner is doing. This can be an example of a trauma response, particularly in the case of someone who has experienced instability and unpredictability in important relationships. This can be in romantic relationships or even stem from relationships with parental or guardian figures in childhood. This interestingly relates to the first line of the chorus. This kind of trauma can be attributed to complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPSD. Most often, we think of trauma as a big event and subsequent emotional response. More recently, there has been a differentiation where CPTSD refers to the effects of chronic trauma. Repeated emotional injuries and traumas over time results in self-preservation behavior, like trying to read the emotions of a romantic partner to prevent or mitigate a negative response. There's nothing wrong with noticing a partner's behavior or affect as long as it is coupled with open communication and not relegated to mind reading. At minimum, it is incredibly exhausting to put that much emotional energy in trying to gauge someone else's emotions before responding. The song moves into this desperation to try to hold on to the relationship. Both the chorus and the second verse are about the narrator trying to impress or pamper their partner with the hope that they'll acknowledge them or give them attention. Please notice me. Please love me. Please show me that you more than just tolerate me. The chorus alludes to gaslighting when she sings, "If it's all in my head, tell me now. Tell me I got it wrong somehow." The narrator can't trust themselves to recognize what's real and what isn't when they've been led to believe they are wrong so often. It's at the end of the chorus that the narrator acknowledges that just being tolerated is not okay. At best, this song could be a description of poor conflict resolution. Perhaps the partner is upset about something and being passive-aggressive in their communication of what's wrong. So often, people have the mindset of, you should already know why I'm mad at you, and you should already know how to fix it. The expectation is that your romantic partner should know you well enough to know what your behavior means and respond accordingly. This isn't fair and only leads to prolonged and escalated friction. At worst, this song is a depiction of an emotionally abusive relationship, where the narrator is stuck in a cycle of being gaslit into believing they are always in the wrong and trying to win the affection of someone who uses the dynamic to maintain power. Only when they recognize this cycle and understand that they have value and deserve better can they begin to break out of it. Leaving an abusive relationship is very complex. There are multiple factors that make it difficult, some of which are unique to that person's situation. Unfortunately, many people blame themselves either for not being a good enough partner to save the relationship or for not leaving. Abuse of any kind is never okay. There is no excuse. Relationship dynamics involve two people, but abuse is never an acceptable part of the equation. Tell me about another Taylor Swift song that deals with unhealthy relationship dynamics. Should I talk about that song next? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, progress is not linear.